Hi, third graders. We are here today. We have our math end of module assessment today of module 4. It looks like that. Before we do I'm going to go over just a few tips and tricks for your test today just to make sure that you're ready. But before we do that, I want to do a really quick review. I have like 6 or 7 questions here that I want to review with you that I just kind of jotted down. So if you'll grab a piece of paper and a pencil, we can do this quick review so that you will be perfectly ready to go for your test today. So if you want to get your materials, you just need a piece of paper, a pencil, it can be line paper, scrap paper, anything, just to do a few quick questions on. And your math module 4 end assessment, because we're going to go through and mark our RDWs and things like that. And a highlighter would be good as well. Okay, so if you need to pause your video and grab your materials, I will meet you right back here. Okay, so if we look at these first 2 questions here, I just kind of drew up a couple questions like this just to get us ready to thinking back in the mindset of this. This is showing the distributive property. So there is a couple questions like this, and they actually look just like this. I just changed the pictures and the numbers slightly. If we look at the first one, we have it cut here, okay? And there's 5 rows of 2. So we would put our times sign right in between there like that. You don't need to redraw these pictures, but just maybe you can think about what number sentence would match it. And this one over here, there's 3 in each row. What number would go right here? How many rows are there? 5, right? There's still 5. And I can put my time sign there. So once I do that, I have these 2 number sentences already set up. I have 5 times 2. So I can put that right below that. 5 times 2. Okay. And then what would this one be? 5 times 3. 5 times 3. Okay. So this side is 5 times 2. This side is 5 times 3. What do I do with those 2 parts? I'm going to add them together, right? So we know that we always stick that plus sign right in between the 2 parts like that. And I can put my plus sign right there between those 2 parts like that. Now, when you see this on your test today, there's going to be all kinds of different choices because it's multiple choice. So it might say like 5 times 2 times 5 times 3. What's wrong with that one? It has a time sign in the middle, so don't be fooled by that one. So like if that was choice A, nope, cross it off. Okay. If B says, let's look at this one. How about that one? What's wrong with that one? I'm adding the 2 sections, right? Instead of multiplying. I know that I'm multiplying because I have 5 times 2 and 5 times 3. So if we see something like that, we know that that can't be correct either because we're not multiplying the parts. What if C says 5 times 2? That looks pretty good, right? No, what's wrong with that one? The subtraction sign in the middle, right? So in order for this to be correct, it has to be multiplying the 2 parts and it has to be adding them in the middle. Okay. This one is very similar. So if you want to pause the video and go ahead and write a number sentence that would match this one and model it to look just like this one. When you do it on your test, it's multiple choice, but if you can just look at it and write your number sentence, that'll be so much easier to choose a multiple choice answer from. So pause your video and go ahead and solve that. Okay, so if we look at this, and I'm going to label it, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes. Okay, so 7 rows, and 1, 2, 3, 4 in each row. So that part is 7 times 4. And this part over here, again, it's going to be 7 rows, right? And how many in each row is 1, 2, 3. So this part is 7 times 3. 7 times 4 and 7 times 3. What do I do with those 2 parts? I'm going to add them together, right? So I can put that plus sign right there like that. And I'm going to put that plus sign right in the middle there. So for these questions, it's not even asking you to solve it. It's just asking you to pick the equation that matches the picture. Okay, so that's it. So as long as we know that we're multiplying the 2 parts and that we're adding the two parts together, you're golden. Okay, good. Let's look at the next two. So we've had questions like this before. I just want to review it to make sure we're good. So we have 14 times 3. So we're multiplying times 3, and it equals blank times 3 plus 4 times 3. So there's that times 3 because we see that we're multiplying times 3. So between this number and this number, we're breaking up that 14. It's the distributive property, okay? So if this second part is a 4 right here, I need to say to myself, 4 plus what equals 14? What would it be? What plus 4 equals 14? 10, right? 10 plus 4 equals 14. So this missing number right here would be 10, because 10 plus 4 equals 14. And if we think of the picture that this would be, it would look like 10 rows of 3 at the top and then 4 rows of 3 at the bottom. So 10 times 3 means 10 rows of 4, or 10 rows of 3 at the top, and then 4 times 3 would be 4 times 3 on the bottom. And then all together, that would give us 10 plus 4, it would give us that 14 rows of 3. Okay, good. So that's reviews. I'm hoping that's clicking some memories with you. Let's look at the next one. Go ahead and pause your video and try this one on your own because it's similar. Okay, so we have 15 times 2. So this means we have 15 rows with 2 in each one if we want to visualize that picture in our head. So we have blank times 2 in each row plus 5 times 2 in each row. So between this number and this number, this would be our total number of rows. So we want to have 15 rows. So if there's 5 here, what would this be to get us that 15 rows? There's 5. Again, what would this be to get us to 15 rows? What plus 5 equals 15? 10. Okay, so 10 plus 5 equals 15. 10 plus 5 equals 15. So again, 15 rows of 2 is what it would be. 10 rows of 2 at the top and 5 rows of 2 at the bottom. Okay, let's look at the next one. This is just a quick word problem review. We had questions like this on our mid-module assessment. I just want to do a quick review. Benny, who's my dog, makes a rectangle with an area of 49 square centimeters. There are 7 rows. How many are in each row? So this is an RDW. And actually, when we do our test, if it's multiple choice, it'll just be RDW. Okay? So Benny makes a rectangle with an area of 49 square units, or square centimeters. An area of 49 square centimeters. So that means that is the total. If it tells us the area, that is the total. There are 7 rows. How many are in each row? So that's my read. If I do a draw, it already tells me that my area is 49, so I can fill in that 49 in the middle because I already know that total area. And there's 7 rows, so I can fill that in. So I would know that it's 7 times something equals 49. So I could do a couple ways. I could do 7 times blank equals 49, or since I know the total, 49 divided by 7 equals blank. Go ahead and pause your video and solve that for me, okay? What'd you get? 7. So that missing side length there is 7. So how many are in each row would be 7, okay? If we have a multiple choice question like this, which it is, you don't need to write a sentence. You would just circle your answer, okay? Good. Just a few more. One similar to this one. Sophia made a rectangle with 3 rows of 4 tiles. What is the area of her rectangle? This would be RD, and it's going to be a multiple choice on your test, so it'll just be RDW. So Sophia made a rectangle with 3 rows of 4 tiles. What is the area of her rectangle? So do we know the total for this one? So I'm going to draw my rectangle. Okay, so it said 3 rows of 4 tiles. What is the area? So for this one, it would just be 3 times 4 equals blank. Go ahead and solve that one for me. What'd you get? 4, 8, 12. Good, so it would be 12. So, and it would be 12, and it doesn't tell us a specific unit or label, so it would be 12 square units. Okay, so the difference between those last two problems is one, we already knew the total, we knew the area. So we could fill that on the inside. This one, we did not know the area, we were finding the area. Okay, good. The next one, Billy says the rectangle on the left has the same area as the sum of the two on the right. Is he right? So Billy says the rectangle on the left, which is this one, I'm just going to put a line to separate. You're going to have a question just like this. It'll just be different pictures and numbers, and it won't be Billy. Okay, so he says the rectangle on the left has the same area as the sum of the two on the right. Sum means that we're going to add. So he says the same area as the sum of the two on the right. So that means if we added these two together, it would equal this one right here. Is he right? Okay, well, let's find out the area. For this one, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 in each row. Pause your video and write a number sentence for that and solve it real quick for me. What did you get? So 5 times 5 equals 25. Good. All right, so that's that one. So we know that this one is 25. And if we label it because it's area, square units. Okay, if I look at this one, if I'm going to add these together, I need to see if they're equal to this one. So 1, 2, 3 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this one equals 15. And this one right here, this is 2. And there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in each row. 2 times 5 equals 10. So that means I've got 15 plus 10 equals 25 square units. So he says that this rectangle is equal to the sum of this one. Is he right? Yes, this one needs an explanation. Yes, comma, because they both equal 25 square units. Does that make sense? Good. All right, the last one in our review together says to find the area of the shape below. So if we can see, this is split into 3 rectangles. So you're just finding the area of each one. And then what would you do? Add all the parts together, right? So if you want to pause this and give it a go, you can do that and then just check back with me, okay? So, and let's label this. So this will be A, this will be B, and this will be C. So if I'm going to find the area of rectangle A, I'm going to say 3 times 4, and 3 times 4 equals 12. Okay, if I want to find the area of B, I know this side length is 2. Do I know what this side length here would be? If I know up here that it's 4, do I know what it would be down here? It would also be 4, right? Because opposite sides of a rectangle are equal. So 2 times 4 equals 8. So that's that one. Let's look for C. So for C, I know this one right here, but I don't know this one or this one. Is there any place in the picture I could look to find it? Right over here, right? Because in a rectangle, opposite sides are equal. So if this is 2, then this is 2. So 3 times 2 equals 6. So to find that total, I would have 12 plus 8. If I want to do those first, 2 plus 8 is 10. 0, carry the 1, 1 and 2. And then I would add that 6. So 20 plus 6 equals 26. And it doesn't give me a unit here, so it would just be square units. What do you think, guys? So the rest, there's more on your test, but these are just some things I just kind of want to hit to review, and the rest is stuff that should definitely look familiar to you. Okay, let's take a really quick look at our test. Okay, I want to just kind of mark the RDWs. This should look familiar. I would definitely label your side lengths of this. You're finding the area of the shaded part, so I would label your side lengths there. And then we can do this one together right there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm looking to see that you are doing that labeling, because that helps to make sure that you're careful and you're getting those answers correct. Turn the page. Okay, these are RDWWs. Okay, this one, the playground has an area of 30. Which shape could represent the playground? So count carefully to find one that has an area of 30. Flip it over. Okay, this one you're looking for an area that would have a garden that could have an area of 40 square feet. So you're circling an answer. There's only one choice there. Turn it. Ooh, number 6 and 7 should look familiar. 6 and 7 is just like what we did on our review. Okay, so make sure if you look at your choices that you're paying careful attention to the signs there. Flip it. Number 8 should look familiar as well, right? Because we did that on our review. Number 9, which figure below has an area of 36 square units? Now, if you look here, these are not perfect rectangles, so we can't just label our side lengths and multiply. I would say that you're probably going to have to touch each one and count here, since they're not perfect rectangles to be able to label your side lengths. Okay, so I would touch each one and put a dot on each one and count to find an area of 36. Okay, number 10, you're finding the area of this one. Be careful again, because we don't have a perfect rectangle here. If you look, you could use your ruler or a straight edge to fill in those lines there if you'd like to. But if you look, here's your rectangle, but then you have this section down here as well, so don't forget that. 11, 12, and 13, these are RDWs. You do not need to write a word sentence because they're multiple choice. Okay, 14 should be fine. 15 is a repeat question that we've had before. So just look carefully, cross off the ones that you know are not correct. Turn the page. Okay, we should be fine with that. Number 17 should look very familiar to what we just did. Sarah says the rectangle on the left has the same area as the sum of the two rectangles on the right. Okay, explain. Says who is correct, explains. That means we need words for your answer. 18, draw 3 different arrays that you could use to make 36 square inch tiles. So remember, we had this on our mid module, so you do blank times blank equals 36. Fill it in, draw a picture, and you're going to do that 3 times. And they all have to equal 36, and we don't want the same numbers, right? So I don't want you just to use the commutative property and flip-flop. This should look familiar as well, number 19. Okay. And the last, well, it's not the last one, but I'll tell you a minute. So number 20 should be okay. Just make sure you answer all the parts. This is all the same problem. It all goes together. Okay. 21, I'm going to tell you, is a bonus. Give it a try, though. Don't just say, I'm over it. I'm not going to try. Give it a try. 21 is a bonus. And if you want to give number 22 a go, you can, but you don't have to. You could also just cross it out. Okay, it's not going to be a bonus, but we'll just, if you want to just challenge yourself. Okay. All right, boys and girls. So work super hard today. I know you can do it. You've been doing great with this unit. So work really, really hard. Show your best work, and I will see you later. Bye.